Hello everyone, welcome to Skill Hacks. Today we are starting with our discussion on emerging technology discussion series where we'll be discussing about blockchain and its hacks. So today we have with us Vikas Singh, a dear friend and a guy who is working on blockchain, and he's a founder and CEO at Block Labs. He's having around 10 year of experience, close to 10 year of experience in telecom, blockchain, and other emerging technologies. They are building some great products. So welcome Vikas, and it's over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepak.
Okay, so we'll be discussing more about blockchain and its hacks. How can you make your career in blockchain? Okay,
Hmm.
so first of all, we'll
Hmm.
start with you, means like about knowing about you more. Okay, so
Hmm.
first question is, tell something about you, your philosophy, aim in your life.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Deepak. Thanks for inviting me. I would love to help you and all the best with your Skill Hack series. I'll try to contribute as much as I can from my side.
Thank you.
So yeah, hi guys. I'm Vikas Singh, and I'm right now spearheading Block Labs. It's a business running from last 2.25 years now, and we recently got uh, our application got accepted in T Block Accelerator as a startup in blockchain domain. And we are one of the very strong contender in those companies where we applied as a batch. The first cohort is going to run from July. So that's where we are, current snapshot. But the journey from the last 2.25 years has been really, really exciting for us. We started with the I'm a first generation entrepreneur, so I knew nothing. So I'm building a car, I'm running the car, and I'm improving the car. So that's what I'm doing right now. So starting was like when I was like in my first company, telecom company. I started this blockchain thing. Started from there. I heard this blockchain keyword from my business analyst. He went into France and he came back and he coined the term, something called distributed ledger technology, something called blockchain. And then he was saying like, can we do something around it? And I volunteered, and then the whole story started. And then the more I was reading around this technology, the more I was getting absorbed in this thing. I was able to understand that this technology has the potential to uproot a lot of existing infrastructure, and it can improve with a lot of conviction as well. So going ahead, fast forward like the whole year in 2016, I learned around it, and then I got my job in Hyderabad. So from 2017 to 18 April, I was there in Hyderabad, and those 16 months in Hyderabad was the time which gave me all the experience that I can have as a developer, as a consultant, as a freelancer, as a trainer, as a guy who was evangelizing the blockchain as well in the community with the help of one of the largest community in India called Blockchain India. And that has been mix and match, and those 16 months was actually the you can say the springboard for me to actually launch my company in blockchain domain. And with the conviction of the experience that I got in my past companies and the experience that I was getting in and around my existing job at that time, I was very convinced that I will start something of my own, and that's how I started. And blockchain was something very very close to my heart at that time. I was eating, sleeping, drinking blockchain at that time.
Great, great.
And yeah, so that's where the philosophy started for my company in blockchain, in Block Labs. The focus, aim, execute. Like one should be like a guy who is unflinching focus on what he want to execute, and he should aim with a very determinant poise. That's how this Block Lab started. And I guess fast forward 2.25 years, like this is what we have achieved. It's a
Okay, great,
it's a
great, great.
recent win. We are very proud of that. Yeah.
Great. So I think you have elaborated your experience and your philosophy, your company philosophy. Okay. So
Yes.
Vikas, most of the time, when we talk about learning in your career, like
Hmm.
throughout your
Hmm.
career, what does learning mean to you? How it plays an important role? Can you just explain us, means how it helped you?
Deepak, it's a very interesting question. Actually, the reason for that is uh, when you say learning, it's a continuous process. There is an ing in this, right? So you cannot say like you can just, let's say, once you are done with your degree, and then you say voila, I'm ready for the world to like I'll tame the world, and like I'll go gaga around it. So learning is something very, very personal to me. I've been a guy like who's an avid reader about technology. I learned, or I came to know about blockchain in a newspaper. Now that gives you an example that how open you should be to things happening around you, and you should be paying detailed attention from the perspective of what are the technologies that are coming in and what problems that those technologies are solving or trying to solve. That's why learning for me is like be a sponge and absorb each and everything, but do not absorb extra unnecessary thing. I'm just saying, like, if you are in a certain area, you should be very well aware about what's happening in that area, so that you can always be on top of your game, by being very, very meticulously choosing the source of information, vet your information, and then make it a permanent point to remember that in your journey. So that's what learning means to me. It's a very important thing.
Very well said. Very well said. So let's start. Make people understand blockchain in layman terms. How simple you can make understand people what is blockchain. I think it will be good for viewers.
Sure. For blockchain, generally I take very simple example. Let's say you everybody in their childhood must have used pencil and rubber, right? So when they use pencil and rubber, let's say I was in a third class. When I was using, up till my third class, I was always using pencil and rubber. So the exercise for doing using pencil and rubber till third class was like you tend to commit a lot of mistakes. So when you tend to commit a lot of mistakes, what you can do, you can use your rubber, you can erase your mistake, and you can update that mistake with the correct thing which it should have,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So the easiest way to understand is this: the conventional databases. So blockchain is a database. Now I am comparing blockchain database to the conventional database. So conventional databases like MariaDB, Oracle DB, and all these Postgre and all the stuff, these are like just your pencil and rubber kind of a infrastructure, where you can go and update the row, and it will become really, really hard to trace back who updated the row, right? Like if I can go and find a loophole in the system, or I'm a sysadmin or a DBA, I can actually update the row if I'm substantially motivated. Now fast forward, let's say in the next class, after third, I got my entry into the fourth class. And then when I went into the fourth class, I was forced to write from pen. When I'm using pen, what flexibility am I losing now? The flexibility that I'm losing now, that I cannot commit mistake as often as I can in my previous class. And it was expected that I should not be doing that many mistakes. So what happens now is that you are writing information with an indelible ink. If you made a mistake, what you have to do, you have to strike through that wrong information, and then let's say in case of a spelling, you have to strike through that spelling, and then you have to write the correct one just above that mistaken spelling. So now let's say a teacher came in the previous class, in third class, my teacher cannot like identify whether I have made a mistake, because I would have rubbed it and just updated a correct one. But now in fourth class, my teacher would know, because my wrong information, what was presented earlier, to which I have striken through, and now what the information, now it is present on top of that wrong information, both is visible to my teacher. So that auditability that it comes now, this is what blockchain can be. And now if you attach a timestamp to it, like let's say I did this wrong information at this particular time, and then I corrected it at this particular time, then it can always be considered as blockchain. So blockchain is a database where you get auditability out of the box, immutability out of the box, and irrefutability out of the box.
Okay.
So all of these things, like it's easier to identify who did what into the blockchain domain, because identity is inherently associated with each and every commit that you do in blockchain database.
Okay, so basically, it adds on to transparency at the end of the day. Means you're trying to say with this whole.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So next question is,
yes,
different industry.
This auditability gives us the transparency.
Okay, so different industry currently using blockchain. What all the different industry using blockchain means, like in their application? Any example can you share with us?
Sure. Decentralized identity is one space which has very, very huge potential. Why it has so much potential? Because it is poised to give us the identity which on a global level can be provided to all of us, and it can work as a unanimous identity for whole, like the 7.25 billion people, right?
Mm.
So that's where we can think that one digital decentralized identity is one area. The second one is actually because of this COVID now, a lot of people would request transparency from the, let's say, the food item or whatever the item that they are receiving now. They would require much more transparency now. Based on a survey now, 70% of the people would require much more transparency in the supply chain domain. So supply chain domain can actually go and adapt blockchain or help take the help of blockchain to smoothen out or give more transparent information to their customers. And it will always be going to revert back. These costs will be reverted as a trust in your brand, and more people will be interested in your brand because of the transparency.
Okay, so
Sustainable fashion is one more thing. Yeah.
okay, so this
You're saying
supply
something?
chain is basically means like when we are talking about this COVID situation, so we need to be more aware about this whole flow, means the process and all. If suppose anyone wants to try, want to understand really how blockchain is, I think the right example you rightly said is supply chain. Currently, they can experience it or they can see how it will help. True? Am I saying true? Means like it is. It makes sense.
You were saying, I'm so sorry, actually, because of the internet, I couldn't understand
I'm saying means
completely. Can
like
you come again?
suppose mostly people want to understand how we can apply. So the
Hmm.
blockchain mostly right now, the whole supply chain you're talking about is totally disrupted because of this pandemic.
Yes.
So I think if they
Yes.
try to visualize, they can come up with this use case of a blockchain. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So, this is exactly where I was hinting to, because current supply chain, what was the previous supply chain mechanism? Now we need a much more cleaner and transparent supply chain, because uh, we have seen a lot of PPEs from Spain have shifted back to China after getting those consignment from China to Spain,
Okay.
because they were not working well. They were not on the top of their game.
Mhm.
Means the kits were not giving the right results.
Okay.
All of these things could have been actually, let's say, if they would have passed through a particular stringent process, let's say a lab would be there which will share their information, so that we should know tomorrow who were involved in the whole supply chain. If, let's say, there is a this PPE was a very critical thing which was saving lives, and if those will have fault, then it will directly impacting the putting the dangers of our warriors, like putting the lives in danger of our warriors globally, right? So let's say the lab is responsible for verifying and vetting those PPE. And
Okay.
if, let's say, tomorrow the process the PPE that was received were faulty, I think the lab should also get some negative incentive in that, right?
True. True. True.
So having all of the people in the network having the incentive to make sure things happens at just like the protocol. Let's say the protocol should have been like each and every PPE kit should have worked flawlessly,
Mm.
but it did not work. So that's where this supply chain traceability and transparency on top of it definitely adds some responsibility on the shoulder of each and every stakeholders. But eventually it will add a lot of credibility if you happen to be the guys like who take it upon their shoulder and deliver upon it.
Great example, Vikas. Great example. So moving on, like suppose if anyone wants to start into blockchain world, means if anyone wants to try blockchain, how they can start? What are the skills required to learn blockchain, or what are the frameworks you suggest they should try? Uh, so over
I
here.
want to add couple of use cases to the previous one, because
Sure,
I
sure,
was
sure,
thinking like one
sure, sure.
more
Go ahead.
use case which is one more use case which is getting now a lot of traction recently, is
Mm.
because of the sustainable development goals which are from United Nations. There are 17 sustainable development goals. So one of them a goal is like to preserve the environment. So there is one more area which is now growing up, is called sustainable fashion.
Okay.
Now sustainable fashion is something which everybody wants fashion, but how to make it sustainable and how to make sure that it is not impacting our ecosystem.
Okay.
So there also the blockchain is playing a very, very crucial role. Few startups in sustainable fashion is a very, very nascent market. Startups in Singapore have raised few money. In India, few people are trying, and globally it is getting traction. And uh, I think that's what I really want to add in the previous example, as a previous example.
Okay,
I'm
great.
sorry.
No,
I
no,
just
no
jumped on
issues,
that.
no issues. I thought. Okay, so like my
No worries.
question remains same. Like suppose if anyone wants to start learning blockchain, want to
Hmm.
make their careers,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
basically they should know, what framework they should know. Means, can you elaborate that
Hmm.
particular point?
Sure. Let's say for a fresher, so let's say people are in college and they want to actually start using or start trying blockchain. So the world have changed from 2016 to 20. Like, not a lot of startups in let's say who have now created tools to make the developer experience smoother, and now they can start consuming those tools and technologies to jumpstart their career in blockchain. So eventually, let's say if you are in college, you should definitely first of all you should definitely start from reading the white papers of a few of the established blockchains. I think Bitcoin white paper is definitely an essential thing because it's a genesis of all these ideas. Then I think if people should read about Ethereum's white paper. People should read other consensus protocols, let's say POW, POS. POW is already defined by Satoshi Nakamoto in the Bitcoin white paper itself.
Okay.
And a proof of stake is something different, consensus algorithm. So consensus algorithms are the one which makes the decentralized world like agree to a common unanimous decision. That's what consensus algorithms are, and it's a very active research area,
Okay.
right? DPoS, POS, like PBFT, BFT. There are numerous number of consensus algorithms which are there.
Okay.
So I would request, let's say, people who are students right now, I think to all the students, I would request invest your time in research as much as they can, so that they understand the building blocks of blockchain. They should not get like in a hurry that they will leave something. They'll leave a train if a train is leaving and they have to hop onto a bogie of that. So
Okay.
one important aspect is to find more time to do research in that. Second is, like, if you really want to quickly jumpstart your career as a developer, then I think you can try with a lot of platform have evolved now. Ethereum is still having a lot of traction from the community, from the tools and technologies, acceptance in the market. Then Ethereum is that go-to tool.
Mm.
Your So there are platform available, and there are a lot of tools built around Ethereum itself. So people can start with Ethereum blockchain. Then third comes like Ethereum is a public blockchain, but it can also be set up in the private environment as well. What do I mean by public and private?
Mm.
Private means, like, whatever the transaction you will do, it will be evident and can be seen by anybody. Like a Bitcoin transaction, nobody can actually do a Bitcoin transaction private to them. It will always be open in the world, and anybody can see those transactions. But
Okay.
private transactions are important from the perspective of, let's say, banks, bigger organizations which do not want to reveal much information in the out to the common people.
Mm.
And it doesn't even mean for them. Let's say banks are negotiating some rates with each other. That information they might not want to, like, put it out in the open. So those things can always be done in a private transaction, but that also should be a very, very pressing use case. Otherwise, there is very small difference between a private blockchain versus a database. People should have a very clear use case what private blockchain they want to use. And when I say database, means a distributed ledger. That's what I mean. It doesn't need to be blockchain, right? And that's for the developers. And let's say for the non-IT people, people who do not understand all of it, but they really want to stuck in the game, they can always come as an SME. Let's say SME. Why am I saying, let's say, SME? Generally, people like who have experience, non-IT people with experience, they always have invested some of their time in particular domain. So in that domain, they can always search that whether there is a blockchain use case which they can actually think around it. Blockchain as a fundamental should be understood why, what exactly can be solved by blockchain, so that once they see the use case arriving in front of their eyes, they can always identify, okay, this use case can only and only be solved by blockchain, right? So now non-IT fresher, they have lot of other games that they can get into. They can actually, if you are good at writing, you can get into blogging, you can get into writing for PR, all of these things. You can help people there, businesses there. If you are fresher, point to
Hello.
blockchain.
Sorry, I lost you.
So blockchain have a different, a little bit tough UX. So a lot of people are working on that.
Sorry, because I lost you.
Is it okay now?
Now it's audible. You're getting my voice? Am I audible? Hello? 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 Vikas, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, Vikas.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
I think some network connection. Sorry for that interruption.
No worries, no worries. It's choppy everywhere across the whole world.
Yeah, so you are talking about some means like non-IT person, how they can basically they should focus on this.
Yeah. So non-IT, non-IT fresher. Let's say these guys can actually come up as a designer, as a people like who can write good English, write good communication. These guys are always welcomed in the market as well, blockchain industry as well. Right now in blockchain industry, we like a lot of companies which I know, they are hiring very aggressively. And apart from the crypto part, like if you really interested, you can also go and build a high frequency trading engine for any cryptocurrency exchange as well. That doesn't need to, like, that will not expose you to the cryptocurrency, but it will still, let's say if you are good at and proficient at Java, Python or something, Golang, you can always build a high frequency trading engine which will be consumed by any new upcoming cryptocurrency exchange. So a lot of market is there to be captured as an experienced person, as a non-experienced person. It's just that you have to find a niche, like where you want to place yourself. Media, legal, finance, these all are the heads in which you can get yourself like comfortable, because these are the complex problem to solve around blockchain ecosystem. Okay. How to file your taxes, let's say if you are trading, let's say how to get your company registered in one single shot when you are in a blockchain domain. My company name got rejected once, that's what I know. Okay. I have to give an explicit detail to the MCA that what exactly am I gonna do.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So the next question is, which segment has the highest potential for blockchain currently? Means the segment, suppose if we talk about which is having the highest potential right now, if we talk about, would you like to elaborate on that?
I think two, which I already mentioned. One is decentralized identity. This decentralized identity, I think, have a huge potential. Couple of things which I want to mention is this. Let's say there is a US, there is a body called Department of Homeland Security, DHS. They have kept a budget aside for solving the identity for good. Okay. So they always give, let's say 100K, up to 100K. They give you the grant up to 100K if you are solving the identity piece, right? Still, and across the whole world, like even in let's say in Ethereum ecosystem, we have few Uport, 3box is the identity solutions that they have come up with. In Hedera, My Earth ID is one project which got like applause across the whole world. Okay. So everybody is trying to solve it in a way that Hyperledger Indy is one such product, product under Hyperledger Foundation. There are projects which are pushing to solve the identity piece, because so that's one traction. I think if people can, then they should solve that. Okay. The second one is, again, which I mentioned, is supply chain. I think supply chain needs blockchain today. Earlier, if you would have asked me, I would have said another thing, but this time I think you need a lot of transparency in the system. I think supply chain should adapt to the game, what it is required right now.
Okay, so moving on, like what will be the blockchain future? Means like, suppose in adoption, what do you think? Means like, what will be the future of blockchain? Means like as a technology, as a business use case, in your point.
definitely the takers are increasing of blockchain as a technology. If I were to tell you from 2016 to 2020, 2019 LinkedIn report just mentioned that blockchain was the first or like the top contender for hiring as a technology.
Okay.
People were hiring left, right, and center all the tech talent that they can in blockchain domain.
Okay.
So the takers are definitely increasing. What we should know is that blockchain is going to be a technology of the future, and we have to be very very careful like where we have to use. We should never ever force fit this technology with anything, because it's equally important where not to use blockchain.
Okay.
And the people in business of blockchain would not say, but this comes as a ethical standard as well, and the community responsibility that one should be very very careful where they should be using blockchain.
Okay. So please tell what all good products and great products you're building in blockchain, in Block Labs, because people will be curious to know. Means like you have gone through a lot of things. You able to hear me, Vikas? Am I audible?
Yeah.
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 So please share something about what are the great products Block Labs is building. I think I've lost you. Vikas, are you there? Vikas, are you there?
I'm here.
I think some issue. Hello. This network. Sorry, guys. Hello. Hello. I think I have lost because he might be trying to reconnect again. Let's see. Hello. Vikas, are you there? Hello, Vikas. I think very
Hello?
bad.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think let's wrap it up. I think just explore, tell something about your product. Means like what are great products you're building, Block Labs.
Okay. Yeah. So I was saying like we have built one solution which is in fintech, and the other one is actually into the domain of documents on blockchain.
Okay.
And we have recently also we have opened up another line of business with the conferencing solution. That video conferencing internal itch that we actually scratched. Our fintech product, which was required to actually have a video conferencing part in that. So what we did, we actually we were using TalkBox earlier, but then we thought like it's not good. Once we scale up, we should be able to do this all internally, and should be able to reduce the cost and pass it on to our customer. Let's say once we launch our product, right? So that's how we entered into the video conferencing solution, and we built one. And in April, and then we saw market outside. So we also launched this product as a we are about to launch that product for the general public, right as we speak. So these are few areas where we are exploring documents on blockchain, video conferencing solution, and fintech product. We are very much excited about all of these things, and we are building some product stealth mode as of now, which we will reveal very soon for the larger masses as well. Yeah, that's where we are, I guess.
Okay, great. So my last question is like, what are the hacks and experience you want to share who is looking for reskilling and upskilling in blockchain? Means क्या गुरु मंत्र देना चाहते हैं आप? मतलब जो लोग सीखना चाहते हैं, people want to learn about blockchain, मतलब उनको कौन सी लैंग्वेज आनी चाहिए? मींस आप मतलब लोगों को कुछ हैक्स दे सकते हैं, स्किल हैक्स के थ्रू.
बिल्कुल. गुरु मंत्र तो कोई नहीं है. गुरु मंत्र तो बस ये है कि जो इन्फॉर्मेशन मिले 3 इडियट में जैसे ब्लॉकचेन के अराउंड उसे एब्जॉर्ब करते चलो. सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है कि आपको हमेशा एक देयर इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट कॉल्ड थर्ड डोर. फाइंड अ थर्ड डोर. सो थर्ड डोर का कॉन्सेप्ट ये है कि जो चीज हाँ या ना से ना सॉल्व हो रही है ना, उसके लिए ऐसा रास्ता निकालो कि वो सॉल्व भी हो और आपको भी अच्छा लगे और दूसरे वाले को भी अच्छा लगे.
Okay.
So you should always create so many doors around the opportunity कि अगर एक डोर बंद हो रहा है ना, तो आपने पहले से ही उस डोर का ऑल्टरनेट आपने पहले ही सोचा हुआ है.
अच्छा, okay.
So hacks तो ये है कि you should be very very careful कि आपको कहाँ जाना है, और उस कहाँ जाने के रास्ते में जितने भी आपको लगता है कि अगर कहीं पे भी मुझे एक सॉल्यूशन है, मान लीजिए मुझे let's say I want to grow my company, how do I grow? So all of those things should be like continuously pushing you to think more and more doors for your company. So अगर ब्लॉकचेन की बात करूं तो इस टेक्नोलॉजी में काफी पोटेंशियल है. इस पोटेंशियल को आप दरकिनार नहीं कर सकते. और दूसरा इम्पोर्टेंट है पॉइंट है कि YouTube वगैरह. आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ, आवाज आ रही है. Means like Vikram, let's close this. Okay, means like because
sure. Yeah, I was just saying
sorry for that. Okay.
No, it's okay. I was just saying कि YouTube पे बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है, और बहुत awesome लोग बहुत freely वो इंफॉर्मेशन वहाँ पे देते हैं लोगों को. And people can actually, it's just a will problem, not a skill problem. आप अपनी will अगर अपनी अच्छी strong रखोगे तो skill तो अपने आप अर्न कर लोगे. So that's a hack that I can tell to the people.
So any specific language you want to tell?
That's pretty much.
Any specific language you want to tell which people should focus on to work on blockchain? And suppose any fresher.
So I think JavaScript is a prominent language which actually evolved within the last 3-4 years around blockchain. So I have seen Node.js, Vue.js, React.js. These are the like languages on which people build their solution. So ये सब आप अगर आप कर लेंगे, जावास्क्रिप्ट स्टैक आप अच्छी कर लें, तो आपके लिए कोई भी जावास्क्रिप्ट का फ्रेमवर्क पिकअप करना आसान होगा. और फिर उसके ऊपर आप देखोगे कि बहुत सारी रेपोज गिटहब में आपको अवेलेबल होंगी. एंड बिफोर ट्राइंग एनीथिंग न्यू, you should always look out for the GitHub repo. There are amazing people who have just open sourced their repo, even though that gives you a private repo section, but people have actually put it out in open just for you. Go find it out, use it. If you find a bug, improve it and release it out in the open.
Okay, great insights, Vikas. So Vikas, thank you for giving us your time and sharing. Like we have discussed, I think it's more than 30 minutes now for this video. Okay.
Most welcome.
Okay, so thank you guys. We'll be coming with more emerging technology discussion with industry folks and those who are working in that particular domain. Thank you, Vikas. Thank you so much. Okay. And thank you all of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for your SkillX. I think it will go like sky high.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.